Carmel.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Before I do anything at all, I just want to do something that's very important, and I don't want to get it wrong out of respect. So before I begin, I would like to acknowledge the Darug people, the traditional custodians of the land in which we stand in Castle Hill. I pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who might be here today. Okay, so my name is Carmel Gazelle. I'm a registered nutritionist and a strength coach. I believe in, and I'm going to have many perimenopausal moments because I'm a 47-year-old woman, so I'll often forget the alphabet. So excuse me if I take an extra moment, as I'm having a bit of a hot sweat as it is now, as I'm obviously quite nervous. So I believe in balance and in consistency and prevention. So whether I am treating or talking to a male or a female, we all have unique needs. A lot of my clientele are female, so I will be giving you extra tips for my women, especially over the age of 38, who are in that perimenopausal time period heading towards menopause and postmenopause as well. So I'm presuming you all received a little ticket, excellent, from two of my beautiful children, my 22-year-old twins, and then also one of these as well. So just quickly, there is a QR code on the back. If you haven't come to my stand already, scan the QR code. It'll take you to a little Google Doc, answer a few questions, and I have some beautiful tote bags over there and some wonderful recipes which I will show the ingredients here as well. Also inside these things here, this is my ethos. So nutrition, sleep, exercise and stress less. These things you can do every single day for the rest of your life, and that will start making changes for you today. If you're not going to do it forever, then why on earth would you want to do it? So first of all, I just want to say in 2019, the top 10 diseases that killed us or humans globally, presented by the World Health Organization, 4 of which were related to cardiovascular disease, 4 were cancer, dementia, type 2 diabetes. It's very frightening because I was actually going to break this down a little bit differently, but as I'm a bit loose with my notes and I'm a bit of a free spirit, see this here? This is all ultra-processed food. It's also food that we love, that we grew up with. We unfortunately follow a diet called the SAD diet. It's the standard American diet. And as a Western country, we'll quite often turn to this before we turn to this. And the reason for that is it's easy. So going back to our statistics, in Japan, there's a 4.5% population with obesity. In the US, it is 44%. In the UK, it's 27%. And in Australia, we have a 31.7% population with obesity. So with cardiovascular diseases, it is the #1 killer globally. I think it's 17.9 million people died in 2023 from cardiovascular disease. So when I say CVD, you go, okay, that's one disease. It's a broad spectrum of diseases that are related to your metabolism, which is going to be diseases like type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, dementia, vascular dementia, anything that's related to basically your entire soul from your toes to your crown. And that is incredibly frightening. So my goal is to teach anyone who wants to listen to me that I want you to chase after your children, your grandchildren. I want you to be able to get on your knees and get back up at whatever age you are. And my simple steps are the 4 pillars of health, which ultimately we all should be following anyway, but there are things that are stopping us from doing that. So my discussion is about harnessing health or harnessing food as medicine. Who likes to eat? Absolutely, absolutely. Most of us live to eat. Not a lot of us eat to live, okay? It's so much more fun when we get to eat. And even better, when we eat with our family and our friends. We break bread. We also reduce the risk of dementia when we do things like that, and we don't isolate ourselves. So I want to show you something. I want everyone to think about, close your eyes everyone. I'm very interactive. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask at any time. If it is a clinical question about yourself, come and see me later at Nutrition in Carmel's Kitchen. And also please be aware, a little disclaimer, I am not a doctor, I'm a registered nutritionist. I am not your registered nutritionist. If you have a question, you can make an appointment, that's fine. Come and see me later, but please, anything that I say to you today is just general in nature. All right, so everyone close your eyes for a moment. I want you to take yourself probably from the age of 10 until 25. I want you to think of something really delicious. Something that will just melt in your mouth. It could be something your mum makes. It could be McDonald's. It could be ice cream. It could be salty, tasty, crunchy, delicious. So thinking about it, you will start to salivate. Amylase, the enzyme in your mouth that starts to break down food, will increase the saliva in your mouth. Open your eyes. I'm quite sure that most of you, I'm just going to say, you weren't saying, oh God, that salad sounds so good right now. Most of us will go, oh my God, these are fantastic. So all of these foods here, we all love. And I am not a no person. Like I said, balance, consistency, and prevention. We need to eat all of these things sometimes, not all the time. Okay, so over here, we're going to come to all of these beautiful foods, which are not expensive. Even though we've been told that eating fresh is more expensive, it's a little bit more work. I have to be honest, not that much more work. Who is sick of cooking? Put your hand up, yeah? Who wants to say, who wants eggs for dinner because you can't be bothered to cook something else? Absolutely. Who, as a woman in this room, is sick and tired of trying to work out what everyone else in the family wants to eat? Yeah, exactly. Who here can fly off the wheel? So who can cook here? Who feels comfortable not following a recipe? Oh, my heart is so happy. Fantastic. Everyone put your hand up. Okay. Put your hand down if you've only had 5 different kinds of vegetables this week. Who's had 10 different kinds of vegetables this week? Think about it. Who's had 20 kinds of different vegetables this week? Excellent. So diversity is key for your gut. If we keep eating the same thing will happen. If you keep getting bloating and indigestion and you eat the same food, you go, why am I feeling these things? Because the medicine that you're eating is not treating you. So coming back to harnessing food as medicine, we take medicine because there's something wrong. What if we could prevent most of those things? So when it comes back to cardiovascular disease, there are quite a few risk factors. So smoking, obviously, excessive drinking, sedentary lifestyle, type 2 diabetes, ultra-processed foods. There are quite a few different things that we could stop before we became at a greater risk. Has anyone heard of the iceberg analogy? No? Okay. So we're not on the Titanic, but just think about the Titanic. All right, so think of your life. Disease doesn't start when you turn 40 or when you turn 50. Disease, like cardiovascular disease, it's a silent killer. So when we're looking out at the Antarctic and the ocean is flat and it looks magnificent, right? Under the water are icebergs. You probably know that they're there, but you can't see them. You all have your own icebergs. So we go through life from 20 to 30 to 40 and beyond, and all of a sudden at some point something crops up. A blood test panel that's not perfect or not brilliant. We don't really know what to do with it. Doctors may or may not explain it to you properly. But what happens then when you start to feel fatigued? You might put on more body weight, more stressful things happen in your life, and yet we still just ignore it. The issue is that as we're traveling along that ocean there, all of a sudden that iceberg pops. You hit that iceberg, you can't get away from the iceberg, and you're forced with making a decision as to what you're going to do. Are you going to take medicine, which you probably need to, but also are you going to start taking some easy, cheap, free options of lifestyle intervention changes? The other thing I also wanted to point out, and this is for my ladies in the room, okay? A woman is at a lower rate of cardiovascular disease until she goes through menopause. And because of the loss of estrogen, all of a sudden, the sliding scale goes the opposite way. We are at a greater risk of insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, and all of the cardiovascular diseases that are available. COPD, having a stroke, heart attack. How does that even happen? Unfortunately, it is because of the loss of estrogen. There are other things that we can do about that. I'm not really going to talk about that much today, although it is one of my favorite topics. Estrogen is a queen and we should be all worshipping her, because men also carry estrogen, and testosterone is actually converted into estrogen, which most of us probably don't even realize. Did you know that there are 4 estrogens? Who knew that there was 4 estrogens? That's amazing. Estradiol is the queen, okay? It's at our highest when we are beginning puberty and then through our reproductive years. And she's the one that is anti-inflammatory. And without her, this is when our diseases come. It is actually frightening that we are the most under-researched gender, and yet we are 50% of the population. And we also spend 81% of the money, just so you know. All right, so let's come over here. I'm going to show you something. This is the coolest, okay? So let's get started. So across here, these are ultra-processed foods. So you got bags, you got barcodes. So just think of things like that, and boxes. Nutrigrain. I don't think you could possibly get a product that is more of a lie. Why is there an athlete? I'm quite sure he doesn't eat that. And to be honest, he probably could, because he trains about 5 hours a day, okay? Non-sustained long energy. So even something like this, I am not demonizing one single food on this table. Everything in moderation is fine. But what do you pair it with? I want you to have a look. There are lots of things on here. White sugar, we don't even think about it. These little teeny tiny things with 50 cents. Mum, can I have that? I want that. You put it on your child's ice cream at night time. I know this is silly and it's just a Campbell soup, but as people get older, this is what they eat. My mum and dad are in their 80s, or mid 80s to late 80s, married for 67 years. This is what they eat. As we get older, we need more protein. And I'll go into the function of protein a little bit more. And again, if you have any questions, please ask me, okay? So, did you know about 12 months ago, my 20/20 vision turned to -25? I can't read anything anymore. I feel like I don't have glasses. Because because like my prescription. Anyway, so this is just condensed cream of asparagus, 97% fat-free. When you have a product that says anything fat-free, get away from it. It just means that it's got more sugar, okay? Who knows how to read the back of a label, a food label? Yeah, a couple of us. Who feels really confident? Yeah, who goes to the super? I know you will, because you're one of my beautiful clients. Okay, who goes into the supermarket and goes, okay, I'm going to have a look at this now. Oh, nope, I'm going to put that one back, or do you just put it in? Yeah. So I often base my products that I buy on what's on sale and then how many ingredients are in the back. Here's a great take-home tip for you. If sugar is in the top 3 ingredients, put it down. You do not need it. It's always in the order of the highest ingredient. This here, who even has Coca-Cola anymore? I really don't know. I don't want to presume that anyone does or does not, okay? But this is like my childhood heaven, like McDonald's, right? By the way, who thought of something really amazing that they wanted to eat when they were a child? Did anyone think of McDonald's? Did anyone think of a croissant? Tell me something. Meredith, what did you think of?
Big Mac.
A Big Mac? Get out of my head. I'm a cheeseburger.
Fried potato chips.
Fried potato chips, right. Did you know those two things should never go together? Potato and deep fried oil. That's not natural. That is, no, I'm not saying I'm sorry, I'm not being mean to you, Victoria, at all. All right, so if we can see here, unfortunately, these all cause cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, especially when eaten alone. And this should never be consumed whatsoever. I'm not saying you can't have these. These are delicious, okay? But they are really a sometimes food. And can I also say, if you're having this once a week, are you going out for dinner for Thai? Are you going to have a glass of wine? You really have to make your choice as to what it is that you want. Do you want to hit the iceberg or do you want to avoid it? I want you to be 70 but feel like you're 55. And that's called your health span, not your lifespan. All right, so let's move on because I'm not very good with time. Okay, 15 minutes in. All right, so over here, who has heard of macronutrients? Yeah, okay, absolutely. Okay, so you got protein, carbohydrates, fats, and then I'm going to say fiber is like the heavenly sister that sits off to the side. Without fiber, colon cancer and bowel cancer. Okay, so I want to show you the difference. So here are oats. I don't have any problems with carbohydrates. It's just whether they're a quality source of carbohydrate, okay? So with rolled oats, you've got like a box of them that have got added flavors to them, added sugars. You've got quick oats. they're broken down very quickly inside you. You've got steel cut oats. I can't do steel cut oats myself. Who likes steel cut oats? You're amazing. You're amazing. They're gold star people. I'm not a gold star person. Okay, so this one here, I just want to make some comparisons, okay? So, okay. All right, who eats Bergen bread? This is a great, yeah, okay, so this is soy and linseed. There's no problems with bread, okay? Have a couple of slices a day if that's what you really wanted. But I want you to compare this with this. Did you know that your body thinks that they're the same thing? When you consume them, so they both contain carbohydrates. This one contains fiber and fat and carbohydrates and protein, okay? This one is basically just sugar. But when you eat it, your body doesn't know that. Your body says, okay, I'm gonna break this down into a small molecule, and it's a glucose molecule. Your glucose is carbohydrate. So all of these things here, all fruit and vegetables are carbohydrates, and we need them all. However, it's the quality of them and how long they last in your body and the energy that they supply. Who's heard of high GI and low GI? Everyone should have heard, yeah, and there's that scale of high GI and low GI. This is high GI and this is low GI. I know that these are two polar opposite things. I probably could have compared this, okay? Or I probably could have compared the pasta and a sweet potato, okay? So this is still a carbohydrate, and if you had type 2 diabetes and you were on a low carb diet, you definitely wouldn't be getting that given to you by your doctor. You might be getting some of this, okay? It's an orange vegetable, it's fantastic. It is grown below the ground, that's okay. But if you're on a very strict low carbohydrate diet because you have insulin resistance and because you have type 2 diabetes or metabolic disorder, then you would be having a vegetable like this a little less often, but you still need to have these things. Interestingly enough, did you know that carbohydrates are not essential? That is shocking. They still do have benefits for us. All right, so I want to start with protein first of all. Who is obsessed with protein? Who has been told, eat more protein, eat more protein? It's in ice cream, it's in yogurt, it's in everything. It's in a packet of chips. And if it says on the packet, protein added, guess what? No, it doesn't. It does not have extra protein added. It has protein in it maybe, and if they put the word protein added, you're going to buy it because it's all about marketing. These things here were designed by a scientist, and that scientist has found the ultimate of bliss point. Sweet, salty, tasty, delicious. It takes a few minutes for your mouth to chew. No, it takes moments to chew, swallow. Within 60 minutes, your blood glucose levels are going to be up here. And then they're going to drop off. That's an hour later. Then you're going to go, I'm hungry, I'm going to go and eat a sandwich. So then it comes back up. So we call this the roller coaster food, okay? If you want to feel good, you've got to get off the roller coaster at some point. You just want to occasionally dabble a little bit, and that's okay. So with protein, we are told eat more protein all the time. Protein is incredibly important for a variety of reasons. We have protein for tissue repair, for our immune system. We often think that it's all about making big muscles. Ladies, who's concerned that they're going to put on big muscles if they eat more protein and they walk into a gym? Anyone? Okay, well, it's good to know that that's not true, that maybe you don't think that. Building huge, big muscles takes 3 or 4 hours a day, and you'd have to be eating up to 3,000 or 4,000 calories a day, okay? So when it comes to protein, don't worry about it, it's okay. Who knows how much they should be having? Yeah, I know, Becky, you would know, yes? Okay, yes, because he's my client, he should know. So the World Health Organization and the Australian guidelines recommend 0.8 grams of protein per kilo of your body. So I think we worked this out. If it was a 70 kilos, Beck? If it was a 70 kilo woman or human, I would be recommending, if you were my client, to be having 1.5 grams of protein per kilo. So that's near 100 grams of protein. How on earth do you get that? What does that even mean? Okay, I'll tell you right now. Because, oh, where's my TVP? Oh, here it is. Nope. Did anyone see my TVP? No. So TVP is textured vegetable protein. It's actually in my beautiful bags. It's a soy-based product. And just as an example, I want to show you that it has 24.7 grams for one serve, okay? And then if you were to add, as an example, a quarter of a cup of this, which would add another 7 grams of protein, that will take you to about 33 grams of quality protein. If you were to have that in a meal, you'll find that you'll be more satiated. That basically means that the hormones in your gut, has anyone heard of leptin? No, you haven't heard of leptin, Molly? I'm going to have to talk to your trainer about that. That's me. Leptin is one of your satiety hormones. It is one of your gut hormones, and it is made and synthesized in your gut. It tells you when you're full. Who eats super fast? Who could eat dinner in like 2-3 minutes flat? Yeah, okay. The issue is your body takes up to 20 minutes to realize or register that you're full. So if you smash out a meal as quick as you can and you go, oh, I'm going to go back for seconds, by the time you've had the seconds, you're like, oh my God, I'm so full, because this hormone called leptin hasn't had the opportunity to tell you that you're full. Okay, so if we were to look at a meal and we ate the protein or tried to eat the protein first, mixing it in with our fibrous vegetables, you'll find that you'll get 3/4 of the way through your meal and you will feel satisfied. So the Japanese have been following this for a very long time. It's called it's eating to 80% full. It's incredibly important, okay? So the next carbohydrate, or the next macronutrient I want to talk about are carbohydrates, okay? So everything that you can see, well, not everything here, but all of the mushrooms, sweet potatoes, don't be afraid of potatoes. There's nothing wrong with them, okay? You don't need to eat them every single day, and the more diverse and the difference that you can have each day, the better. I'm going to set a goal for you. Who can eat 30 different kinds of plant-based vegetables and different proteins, including spices and herbs, in 1 week? Oh, whoa, where's the standard being set? Put your hand up. Of course you can. Don't be afraid. Look, these are my 3. Who struggles with herbs and spices? Smoky paprika is heavenly. This is cumin, fantastic in the Mediterranean diet. Mediterranean diet is the most researched and the most popular for positive health outcomes. Okay, guess what the second best diet is? The diet you can follow. If you can't follow a diet for the rest of your life, you are wasting your time, because you're not going to. So then the roller coaster happens, and then we lose weight, we gain weight. We lose weight, we gain weight. Every time we do that, whatever that weight was that it was at your highest point, your body wants to go back to it. Our fat cells are like Pac-Man. They're like, feed me, feed me, feed me. They're always waiting. So carbohydrates are your energy source, okay? So when we eat a carbohydrate of any sort, whether it's a sweet potato or whether it's one of these, has anyone seen this before? Okay, 11 calories. I don't care about calories, eat whatever you like. But this has 11 calories in one serve. If you are trying to reduce your carbohydrate intake and increase your vegetable intake, the fiber here, which will reduce the disease risk, here we go, the blind eyes again, 5 grams. You are recommended by Australian standards to have 30 grams a day. In the US, they're 10 to 15 grams, and we're following that diet. Again, increase the risk of cardiovascular disease, dementia, type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance. And you know, I can say these things until I'm blue in the face, but how do you want to feel? Do you want to get out of bed and have energy? Of course we do. Do you want to go to bed and wake up and go, oh, I feel brilliant? No one wakes up and goes, oh my God, this is going to be the best day of my life, until it is the best day of your life. And the only place that starts is here, by eating these kinds of foods, because this feels better. Has anyone heard of the gut-mind axis? Yeah. So now I want to talk about prebiotics and probiotics as well. Prebiotics and probiotics. Prebiotics are anything like Asian greens, antioxidants that have that are blueberries, and anything dark coloured. Here we go. I'm better when I show. Okay, so spinach, kale, and all of these foods are called polyphenols, and they're also carbohydrates as well. These are anti-cancer fighting machines. Our body takes these and it fights against these little things in our bodies called free radicals. The antioxidants come along and they destroy them. But if you're not having antioxidants, what happens? Unfortunately, when we're only consuming these things, we become inflamed. So inflammation is when your immune system is damaged. It can be a sore, it can be a cut, it can be a disease, it can be diabetes, it can be stress. Who feels sometimes like they have really high cortisol levels? Yeah. Did you know cortisol is an incredibly important hormone in our body for multiple reasons? It gets a really bad rap, but she gets you out of bed in the morning. Melatonin at nighttime helps us sleep. Okay, so our carbohydrates, there are so many different forms. Don't demonize anything. Black rice is fantastic. So I do have brown rice here as well somewhere, but if I were to choose, I'd go black rice. I couldn't find any quinoa by itself. It's a combination of brown rice and red quinoa. This is cheap as chips. I think this is, how much was this when we did the shopping? Like $4? Right, $4. There's 5 pouches. You know, the old hippy dippy Carmel would have been like, I only make my quinoa from scratch. But now, I'm not going to say I'm lazy, I'm just incredibly time poor, and I think I've just gotten a little bit more sensible, okay? So going back to the prebiotics and the probiotics, and here are yogurt. I know I'm a little bit all over the place, but I don't have very much time. This is empty, don't worry. This is a probiotic yogurt. These are great tips I have for you, because a probiotic yogurt, don't ever buy the same brand all the time. Buy the one that's on special, but they all contain different bacteria, and that bacteria is what makes your gut happy. Whether it be something like sauerkraut, don't be afraid of sauerkraut. It is delicious. Everyone's into Buddha bowls. You just have like a tablespoon on your Buddha bowl. Absolutely delicious, okay? Extra virgin olive oil is so expensive at the moment. It's phenomenal how expensive this is, but this is gold. This is what's going to help to reduce your cardiovascular disease risk. Pour it over your salad. Please don't be afraid of it. I didn't bring apple cider vinegar. I did forget, but she's also fantastic for your gut as well. All right, so I did bring some products here that I wanted to show you because I swear by them. Who feels like they make sauce like a, I'm nearly done, aren't I? Did you tell me I'm supposed to be done? She did, okay. Come and see me for more tips later. So basically, the tips that I wanted to tell you, obviously, now I've lost my train of thought because I've run over time. How can I talk so much? Okay, so here we go. If you were to look in my little thing here, one thing, I want you to bookend your day with protein. The first meal and the last meal of the day and lunchtime, but definitely the bookend, have your protein. So then at night time after dinner, you're not incredibly hungry. The next point is I want you to fast for 3 hours between meals. So if you have breakfast at 9, try really hard to not have lunch until 12 o'clock, because otherwise you get the roller coasters in your blood glucose levels, and we want them to be as straight as possible, because otherwise, I'm telling you now, this is all that you're going to want to eat. And I'm just going to tell you that I'm incredibly happy that I was given this opportunity to see you today. If I have not seen you already over in my stand, or if you've thought of a question, come and see me over there. Otherwise, thank you very much for coming today. I appreciated everyone being here.